Good morning, students, and welcome to the YouTube channel of Akansha Vidyapit School. Myself, Parul Sharma, your science teacher. In this video, we will proceed with the remaining part of chapter number 2 of class 8 science, microorganisms, friends and enemies. In the previous part, we have learned about microorganisms and the various types of microorganisms found on this earth. In this video, we will learn about the useful and harmful microorganisms found in nature. जब भी माइक्रोऑर्गेनिजम्स का नाम आता है तो हम उन्हें डिजीज़ेस से जोड़ के ही देखते हैं, पर ऐसा नहीं है। सभी माइक्रोऑर्गेनिजम्स हमारे लिए हार्मफुल नहीं होते हैं। कुछ माइक्रोऑर्गेनिजम्स ऐसे हैं जो हमारे और एनवायरनमेंट के लिए यूज़फुल होते हैं। लाइक सम बैक्टीरिया, दे आर यूज्ड इन सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट एंड सम बैक्टीरिया आर यूज्ड एज in antibiotics and some decompose dead and decaying matter. Now let us study some of the benefits we get from these microorganisms. Microorganisms, they are useful to people and for ecosystem. People, they make use of them to make food and medicines, and in ecosystem they help in decomposing and in recycling the nutrients back into the soil. Some microorganisms which are useful to us are bacteria, fungus, virus. Some examples of bacteria which are useful to us are lactobacillus, E. coli, photosynthetic bacteria, fungi, fermenting fungi, yeast, rhizobium and penicillin. Now first, the commercial use of microorganisms. The microorganisms, they are used in brewing, wine making, baking, pickling and other food making processes. They are also used in production of cultured dairy products like curd and cheese. The yeast convert sugar into alcohol, and this process is known as fermentation. Fermentation process is used in many industries like curd and cheese manufacturers, and some Indian food items like idli and dosa also make use of the process of fermentation for their preparation. The soil bacteria, they are small single-celled organisms and are able to fix nitrogen from atmosphere to enrich soil with nitrogen and increase its fertility. Therefore, they are known as biological nitrogen fixers. These bacteria complete the nitrogen cycle by converting nitrogen into a form of nitrogen that plants can absorb from the soil. Now, medicinal use of microorganisms, they are used in making medicines like antibiotics and vaccines. Some of the examples of antibiotics are streptomycin, erythromycin, and several diseases like cholera, tuberculosis, smallpox and hepatitis. These can be prevented by vaccination. Now our next topic is food preservation methods. Food preservation, it is a technique of treating food items to slow down or stop the growth of microorganisms, as well as maintaining the quality, flavor, color and texture of the food items. Some of the methods of food preservation includes freezing, heating, canning, using salt, sugar, oil and vinegar, pickling, drying, pasteurization and use of chemical preservatives. The first method is freezing. The low temperature, prevents the growth of microbes. Heating also kills microorganisms. Canning, many food items are kept in airtight containers to slow down the growth of microorganisms. Pasteurization, it is a method of preserving milk and liquids by heating and then cooling the liquid to kill bacteria. Next topic is nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen cycle is a cycling of nitrogen from atmosphere to soil and back into the atmosphere. Nitrogen atoms are cycled between various forms of life and between atmosphere and soil by a series of interlinked chemical changes, and this cycle is called as nitrogen cycle. The nitrogen cycle is a complex process and there are certain steps involved in the process, and we should know each and every step to understand the complete cycle. The most important part is bacteria, which help the nitrogen change between states so it can be used by plants. And animals get the nitrogen from the plants. We know that 80% of the atmosphere is made up of nitrogen gas, and this nitrogen, it is not easily available to plants for absorption, as it is very unreactive and very few organisms can extract it from the air. Plants can't take up this nitrogen directly from the atmosphere, so they need some nitrogen fixing organisms which convert this atmospheric nitrogen into oxides of nitrogen, which can be absorbed easily by the plants. Now this nitrogen fixation can be done by 4 steps. Free living nitrogen fixing bacteria like Rhizobium, symbiotic nitrogen fixing bacteria, and fixation in the atmosphere by lightning, and fixation by Haber process. It is an industrial process by which nitrogen is made. In legumes, the fixed nitrogen produced by Rhizobium is used to make amino acids, and this is distributed to all areas of the plant to make proteins. Now the steps in nitrogen cycle include: first is nitrogen fixation, then nitrification, nitrate assimilation, ammonification, and denitrification. First is nitrogen fixation. Nitrogen gas is converted into inorganic nitrogen compounds, and it can be done by free living nitrogen fixing bacteria and by lightning. Now nitrogen fixing bacteria, they can be symbiotic or free living. Symbiotic bacteria example is Rhizobium, and cyanobacteria, also called as blue green algae, and archaebacteria, which are found in deep sea. Nitrogen fixing bacteria, Rhizobium. Nitrifying bacteria is Nitrosomonas, nitrifying bacteria Nitrobacter, and denitrifying bacteria. They all are used in the nitrogen cycle. Now nitrogen fixing bacteria, they convert nitrogen into organic nitrates, then nitrifying, they convert ammonium into nitrites. Nitrobacter convert nitrites into nitrates, and denitrifying bacteria convert nitrates into nitrogen gas. Now nitrogen fixation by lightning. In lightning, atmospheric nitrogen and oxygen combine to form nitrates, which are carried to the earth's surface in the form of precipitation. Now nitrogen assimilation, when nitrates and ammonia are fixed into the specific tissue, animals then ingest these plants and convert them into their own body compounds. This process is called as assimilation. The amino acids are then built up again into proteins during protein synthesis. Now excess amino acids, they are excreted out in urea, in the form of urea as urine. Now next step is ammonification. Ammonification, the remains of all living beings are decomposed by microorganisms, which ultimately yield ammonia. The decomposers, they break down the protein in the body of that plants and animals into amino acids, and they use some of the amino acids for their own growth, and the rest is broken down into ammonia. The production of ammonia is called as ammonification. The nitrification process carried out by nitrifying bacteria and converts soil ammonia into nitrates, which plants can easily absorb into their own tissues. Nitrification, the ammonia in the soil converted into nitrite ions and then into nitrate ions by nitrifying bacteria, mainly Nitrosomonas and Nitrobacter. Now next step is denitrification, the process in which nitrates are converted by denitrifying bacteria to free nitrogen and returned back to the atmosphere. The denitrification process needs bacteria which reverse the nitrogen fixation process. They convert nitrates back into nitrogen gas, and these are found in sewage treatment plant, compost heaps and wet soils. This is a diagram of nitrogen cycle in which all the 5 steps of nitrogen cycle are found. First, nitrogen of atmosphere is fixed by nitrogen fixing bacteria into nitrates, and these nitrates, when plant absorb these from the soil, they convert them into proteins, and the animals, when they eat plants, they also convert the plant proteins into animal proteins. Then when animals excrete waste materials, these proteins are converted into ammonium compounds by bacteria and fungi. Through nitrification and denitrification, the nitrogen cycle escapes back into the atmosphere, and this way the cycle is completed. Now, useful bacteria in human body. Certain bacteria are found in human body in intestine and on skin, which help in destroying the harmful organisms and also help in digestion, synthesize vitamins and degrade toxins. Examples are E. coli, lactobacillus, and bifidobacteria. Now, harmful microorganisms. Some disease-causing microorganisms are called as pathogens, and some microorganisms spoil our food, clothing, and leather. Now, let's study about their harmful activities. First are disease transmission. Two modes of disease transmission are there: direct contact and indirect contact. Direct contact from person to person or through physical transfer of microorganisms like coughing, sneezing, and indirect, they are transferred or carried by some intermediate item or organisms. They are either airborne, waterborne, vehicle-borne, or vector-borne. Direct transmission में direct contact, droplet infection, contact with soil, inoculation and transplantation, and indirect transmission include vehicle-borne, vector-borne, airborne, fumite-borne, and unclean hands and fingers. This is a chart showing some of the diseases caused by various microorganisms like virus, bacteria, fungi, and protozoa. Now, next topic is food poisoning. What is food poisoning? Food poisoning is an illness caused by eating contaminated food, and this food is contaminated by toxins released by certain harmful microorganisms like bacteria, fungi, and sometimes viruses. It is caused when your body receives contaminated food and bacteria, viruses, and parasites, toxins. And some of the microorganisms which cause food poisoning are E. coli, Salmonella, and Botulinum, which cause food poisoning within a much shorter time, and in most cases vomiting as the main symptom. Some other symptoms of food poisoning are abdominal pain, diarrhea, fever, nausea, and malaise. That's all in the chapter. We have finished the second part of our chapter number 2. Thank you. Till then, stay safe and study hard.